The events of the 2002 Gujarat Riots remain etched in the collective memory of India, serving as a stark reminder of how quickly communal tensions can escalate into tragedy. The story begins on the morning of February 27, 2002, when a train coach of the Sabarmati Express was set ablaze at the Godhra railway station in Gujarat. The coach was carrying Hindu pilgrims returning from Ayodhya, and the fire claimed the lives of 59 people, including women and children. The incident was immediately met with shock and outrage, and it became the catalyst for a wave of violence that would sweep across the state in the days and weeks that followed. In the aftermath of the Godhra train burning, Gujarat descended into chaos. Mobs took to the streets in several cities and towns, targeting homes, businesses, and places of worship. The violence was marked by brutality and scale, with reports of arson, looting, and murder. Official estimates put the death toll at over 1,000, but some independent organizations and activists suggest that the real number could be higher. The vast majority of those killed were Muslims, and thousands more were injured or displaced. Entire neighborhoods were razed, and countless families were left homeless, their lives forever altered by the events that unfolded. The response of the state government, led by Chief Minister Narendra Modi, quickly became a focal point of national and international scrutiny. Critics accused the administration of failing to act swiftly and decisively to quell the violence. Some alleged that officials were complicit, or at the very least, negligent in their duties. These accusations were fueled by reports that the police and other authorities were slow to intervene, and that in some cases, they stood by as violence erupted. Survivors and human rights organizations documented numerous instances where calls for help went unanswered, and where relief and rehabilitation efforts were delayed. As the violence subsided, Gujarat was left to grapple with the aftermath. Relief camps were set up for those who had lost their homes, but conditions were often dire. The process of rebuilding was slow and fraught with challenges. Beyond the physical destruction, the riots left deep psychological scars on survivors. Many spoke of the trauma of witnessing loved ones killed, of fleeing for their lives, and of the lingering fear that haunted their daily existence. The social fabric of Gujarat was torn, with trust between communities severely eroded. The question of accountability loomed large. Narendra Modi's role during the riots became a subject of intense debate. His supporters argued that he did everything within his power to restore order, given the scale and spontaneity of the violence. They pointed to the eventual deployment of the army and the imposition of curfews as evidence of his commitment to restoring peace. Detractors, however, remained unconvinced. They highlighted the initial delay in calling for military assistance and raised questions about inflammatory rhetoric and administrative decisions made in the days leading up to and during the riots. The legal and political battles that followed were protracted and contentious. The Supreme Court of India intervened, ordering a series of investigations into the riots and the state's response. In 2008, a special investigation team, SIT, was constituted to examine the allegations against Modi and other officials. After years of inquiry, the SIT concluded that there was no prosecutable evidence against Modi. In 2012, the courts cleared him of wrongdoing, a decision that was celebrated by his supporters and condemned by his critics. Despite the legal exoneration, the controversy surrounding the 2002 riots never truly subsided. The issue remained a flashpoint in Indian politics, resurfacing during every election cycle and in debates about secularism, justice, and the rule of law. For many, the riots became emblematic of the challenges facing India as a diverse, multi-religious society. They underscored the dangers of communal polarization and the importance of safeguarding the rights and security of all citizens. In 2023, the debate was reignited by the release of a BBC documentary titled India, The Modi Question. The documentary alleged that Modi bore direct responsibility for the violence, citing diplomatic cables and interviews with officials from the time. The Indian government responded swiftly and forcefully, condemning the documentary as hostile propaganda and blocking its distribution within the country. The move sparked fresh debates about press freedom, censorship, and the role of international media in shaping perceptions of India. The reactions to the documentary highlighted the deep divisions that persist in Indian society over the events of 2002. For some, the documentary was a necessary act of journalism, shining a light on unresolved questions and giving voice to the victims. For others, it was an unfair and politically motivated attack, designed to undermine India's image on the global stage. The controversy reflected broader debates about history, memory, and the politics of narrative. Whose stories are told, and whose are silenced? How do societies come to terms with episodes of violence and injustice? The legacy of the Gujarat riots is thus not just a matter of historical record, but an ongoing struggle over meaning and accountability. The survivors and their families continue to seek justice and closure. Some have found solace in the legal process, while others remain dissatisfied, feeling that the full truth has yet to be uncovered. Civil society organizations have worked tirelessly to document the events, provide support to victims, and advocate for reforms to prevent such tragedies in the future. At the same time, the riots have had a profound impact on Indian politics. Narendra Modi's rise from Chief Minister of Gujarat to Prime Minister of India has been both celebrated and contested. His supporters view him as a transformative leader who has brought economic growth and stability, while his detractors continue to raise questions about his record on human rights and religious tolerance. The polarization is evident in public discourse, with debates often marked by passion and intensity. The Gujarat riots also serve as a case study in the challenges of governing a diverse society. They highlight the importance of strong institutions, independent judiciary, and a vigilant civil society. They underscore the need for political leaders to act with responsibility and restraint, especially in moments of crisis. And they remind us of the enduring power of memory, how past events shape present realities and future possibilities. For the people of Gujarat, the riots are not just a chapter in a history book. They are a lived experience, with consequences that reverberate across generations. Reconciliation and healing remain ongoing processes, requiring empathy, dialogue, and a commitment to justice. The challenge is to learn from the past, to build bridges between communities, and to ensure that such tragedies are never repeated. In reflecting on the 2002 Gujarat riots, it is essential to recognize the complexity of the events and the multiplicity of perspectives. There are no easy answers, and the search for truth is often fraught with difficulty. What is clear, however, is the need for continued vigilance against hatred and violence, for the protection of minority rights, and for the upholding of democratic values. The story of Gujarat in 2002 is a cautionary tale, a reminder of the fragility of peace and the responsibilities that come with power. It is a call to action for all those who believe in justice, equality, and the dignity of every human being. As India continues to evolve, the lessons of the past must inform the choices of the future, ensuring that the horrors of communal violence are consigned to history and that the promise of a pluralistic, inclusive society is realized for all.